All right, so sometimes we need to take higher order derivatives. So all that really means is you're taking the derivative multiple times. Um, so first derivative is the one that we've been working with. So that's just taking the derivative once. Second derivative, you take the derivative of the derivative. So you're doing it twice, and this is notation for it. Third derivative, same idea. You're taking the derivative of the second derivative, which means you're taking it 3 times. And then fourth derivative and so on. So this is all the different types of notation for that. So let's just do a couple examples. So if f of x is x cubed, we want to find f triple prime of x. So the third derivative, so of course we need to start by finding the first derivative. So f prime of x equals 3x squared. And then to find the second derivative, we do that again, take the derivative again. So f, well, let's fix that. So f double prime of x is 6x, and f triple prime of x is just 6. So that is our third derivative for that one. Number 2, we are actually given the first derivative for this one. So we're given the first derivative and we want to find the fourth derivative. So be careful with notation here because it's the second derivative of y with respect to x. So just be careful where the 2's go. So it goes after the d in the numerator and then after the x in the denominator. So second derivative would be 20x cubed minus 3. Third derivative, take the derivative again, equals 60x squared. And finally, the fourth derivative, you can put this number in parentheses, but you don't really have to. The only time you really should is once you get past a triple prime, if you're doing the prime notation. Once you get past that, you should put the number in parentheses instead of doing more than 3 primes, because that's going to look a little weird. So for the prime notation, you put it in parentheses with the number. That way you don't get it confused with an exponent. You don't really need to put this in parentheses, but it's okay if you do. So anyway, back to this. So fourth derivative, we're just going to take the derivative of our third derivative. So we get 120x, and that is our fourth derivative. Last one, so y equals sine x, and we want to find the fourth derivative. So y prime equals the derivative of sine is cosine. Y double prime, the derivative of cosine is negative sine. Y triple prime is the derivative of negative sine, which is negative cosine. And the fourth derivative, so this is where I'll put it in parentheses. I can write it small enough. So the fourth derivative is the derivative of negative cosine, which is positive sine. And then hopefully you notice a little pattern here. If I were to keep going with this, we're back where we started with sine x. So this would go in a cycle. So the fifth derivative would be cosine x. The sixth derivative would be sine x. Seventh derivative would be negative cosine x. And then we'd be back where we started, and it would just keep going around and around. So this is the fourth derivative. And that's really all there is right now to higher order derivatives. More will come in the next unit about what these mean. But for now, just know what it means to take a higher order derivative.